honored today to have Dr. Shallua, the founder of Global Empowerment, which Women Empowerment is registered under, and he's coming to the monthly special station, which we are hoping that he will be available every month when he is in the United States. So I don't want to take too much time. We want to give him as much time as possible in this station. He is well prepared. He is loaded with what he has for us for this, as we start this decade. He's a professor and the founder of Mount Eagle College, Mount Eagle University. He's also the founder of Global Empowerment and many other things, a father and a husband. So we are very honored to welcome Dr. Shallua to this platform for this empowering station. Welcome, Dr. Shallua.
Thank you so very much, Dorothy. It has been my pleasure, and I feel so honored to be part of this podcast. And I really thank God for the opportunity to speak with everybody, especially at the beginning of this year. And as I was thinking of what really is the best material, best experience, best thing to share with a big family out there, I came into conclusion that I talk about the art of achieving big goals, or we can title today's talk, The Art of Super Achieving. Now, I'll ask us to spend a few minutes praying and inviting the presence of God amongst us. Let us all pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, thou art in heaven, we again want to thank you for a wonderful Saturday morning. You have given us the opportunity to see the day. You have given us the opportunity to see the year. You have given us the opportunity to become what you want us to become. At this time, we want to invite your presence. Teach us, instruct us, show us, and help us in the ways that pleases you, in the things that you will be glorified. We want to commit our minds. We want to commit our spiritual ears, and we want to commit ourselves unto your presence, that, Father, we will be able to eat and drink from your presence. Again, we thank you and we worship you. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now, this morning, as I've said, I will be sharing with you the topic that I've titled The Art of Achieving Big Goals, or Super Achieving. Sometimes we wonder, why do other people achieve big goals, and why do other people fail to achieve big goals? They end up with mediocre achievements, or if you look at their portfolio, they have nothing that they can say that they have achieved, and they are proud of it. And as I was pondering on this, I came up with 5 things that will help us. I'm the one included in this. I'm not an outside trying to tell people what to do, but there are certain experiences that I would say I have experienced myself. There are certain things we can see in people who are super achievers, and I've collected them in 5 ideas that I felt it important that we share these ideas this morning. What do these people do? What can we do to be able to achieve big things that we will be proud of, that our children will be proud of, that the people that surround us will be proud of? Now, number one, which I think that it's very important, is to have a very clear goal of what exactly do we want to achieve. Somebody told me something very profound this year. He said, Lucas, it is not what the year brings to you, because many people say, I don't know what this year is going to bring. I think it is what we bring to the year. This is a new year. Many people are making resolutions. Many people have big expectations. I believe you are one of them. I am one of them. I have big expectations for this year. But one thing that I'm realizing now is it's not what the year is going to bring. It is what am I prepared to bring in this year. So let's look a little bit on goals. Many people get into the year without a very clear target, without a very clear aim, without knowing exactly what do they want to achieve in this year. We are so vague. We say this year is going to be a great year. It's good. I mean, I believe so too, and I pray about it, that it's going to be a big year. But if I slow down and ask you specifically, what do you want God to do to you this year? What is your specific prayer? Because for specific prayers, there are specific answers. I remember that sick person whom Jesus met at the fountain, and Jesus specifically asked him, do you want to be well? As if Jesus didn't know that this person was sick and, he wanted to be healed. And this person started giving a lot of excuses. And Jesus was very direct and very specific, and he asked, do you want to be healed? And eventually this person said yes. If you remember also the story of Bartimaeus, Jesus asked him very clearly, what do you want? He kept on saying, have mercy on me, son of David. Have mercy on me, son of David. And Jesus knew Bartimaeus was blind, but Jesus was very specific. What do you want me to do to you? And probably this morning I want to challenge us. What do we want God to accomplish through us this year? Are we clear in our goals? Are we clear in what we want to achieve this year? That at the end of the year, we will say, God did this, and I am a workmanship. I am a co-worker with God. Because remember, God will not do anything if us as his servants are not ready, are not prepared, they are not mentally tuned and aligned with him to do what he wants us to do. Many times we think that goal setting is a secular aspect, while I believe that us as Christians, it's very paramount that we learn to set goals. And it is through those goals we generate our prayer items. We can pray as much as we can, but one question God is asking us is, what do you want me to do to you? So in terms of goals, remember, a goal is like a target. An archer doesn't just throw an arrow. He has to have a target. They say If you don't have a target, you can hit anything, and you'll be celebrating hitting anything because you don't have a target. And our goals have to be big enough. They have to challenge us. Otherwise, we won't need God. If we set very small goals, they don't challenge us, there's a disadvantage on that. Number one, it doesn't motivate us to do anything. Number two, once we finish it, we get bored because we can easily finish it. Number three, we won't really rely on God because it is a small thing that we know we can do it. And why pray that much about it if we know that we can do it? There are certain things that are within our ability and our capacity. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about goals that without God, you cannot reach God. They are super goals. So set a goal. Challenge God. Challenge yourself. Say, God, I want this year you to use me in the way that you have never used me before. When I look back around December 31st, and I would say, God, without you, I wouldn't have been able to achieve this. That is the kinds of goals which I'm talking about. And these goals have these characteristics. Number one, if you examine your goal, a big super goal, number one, it serves the purpose of God if you look at it carefully. Secondly, it serves the purpose of others. It is service-oriented goal. And then thirdly, it is personal-oriented goal. Many times when we set goals, we are very selfish. The first priority become us. I mean, it's not bad, it's not sinful, but it's good that our goals should be in such a way that God becomes a first priority, then others become second priority, and then ourselves, we become the last priority. So it serves three components: God aspect, others aspect, and personal aspect. These three things have to be intertwined for a goal to be big enough, to be balanced, and to challenge and to be worth it pursuing. Number two, to us achieve big goals, we really need to resolve in our hearts to be single-mindedly saying that I am committed enough and I'm going to do this all the way to the end. Many times we go approach big goals, but we have never resolved in our heart that we are ready to sacrifice everything in order to make this goal become a reality or to achieve the goal. Now, many super achievers, if you talk to them or if you interview them, this is what they will tell you. Are you ready to pay the cost of achieving this goal? Everything has a price tag. My question to us is, what are we ready to lose in order to achieve what we want to achieve? What is it worth it? Now, that's why I said if our goals are so small, it's not really worth it. If they mean nothing to us, they're not worth it pursuing. So what happens? We go all the way, and then when it is 21st of January, we quit. Like everybody else, people make resolutions in the beginning of the year, and the research shows by 21st of January, 95% of all the resolutions people have quitted. People have breached their own resolutions. Why? They did not resolve in their hearts that they're going to be fully committed to do this thing that they have said they're going to do. So number one, we need to make up our mind. We need to say that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and no matter what, I am not going to quit. I'm going to hold to this goal so tenaciously. I will give up everything to make sure that this thing is getting accomplished this year. It is something that we tell ourselves, we resolve. That's why they are called New Year's resolutions. It's because we resolve in our minds that we are not going to make any other decisions or any other decision outside this goal or outside what I'm committing myself to do. Do I mean that I won't change directions? No. Many times we change directions, but remember, there is a difference between changing directions and changing destinations. You need to be very careful. Sometimes as we are pursuing our goals, we meet challenges that force us to change the direction, but we still maintain our destination. That is very important. If you read the book of Exodus in the Bible, this is what we realize. The children of Israel changed direction so many times under the guidance of Moses, under the instructions of God. And sometimes they were literally going the opposite direction to the land of promise. The land of promise was at their back, and they were howling and crying to Moses, "Where are you taking us?" They changed the direction, but they still maintained their destination. And this is very important. There are times we will need to be very dynamic. We will need to be very flexible with our goals. We will still shed things that we feel that when we were making a resolution or when we were setting our goals, we did not consider. We just shed some few things, we shed some few things, but the general destination remains. Many of us, in the due course of changing directions, we also change the destination. So remember, do not change the destination. You can just change directions. You can change the nitty-gritties and the logistics. But remember to maintain the bigger picture, the main objective, the main goal that you want to achieve. Superachiever are tenaciously holding to what they have resolved to do, and they stick to it no matter what. Number three is a focus. Many times we approach our goals like what Chinese say, if you're chasing two rabbits, you will lose both of them. Both rabbits will escape. And even in Swahili, there is a saying in Africa or in Swahili which says, he who holds two things in his hands, he will always lose one or both of them. It means that we are double-minded. We cannot be double-minded, that we want to do this, and then in the middle of the year, we forsake it, we start pursuing another goal. This is an epidemic. Most of us, most of the people, they start with one thing, they lose the steam, they lose the excitement, they lose the motivation, they find another goal, and then they start pursuing this. They go halfway, they meet hardship, they forsake that goal, they start pursuing another goal. At the end of the year, they will have 10 half-done projects, and no one project is completely finished. Now, that is very bad, because we lose what the psychologists say, that we lose self-confidence if we pursue goals and we don't stick to them, we are not focused to them until the end. The psychologists teach us, they say one way to build up our confidence is set up the goal, focus single-mindedly, put all your energy on that one goal until you finish that goal. Then celebrate that goal, put it under your belt, write it in your portfolio, write it in your resume. That boosts up your self-confidence. And sometimes we wonder, why are certain people confident and other people not confident? The unconfident people are very inconsistent. They don't believe in themselves that they can set a goal, they can pursue something until when they finish it. And there is power in focus. If we learn to focus, to chase one rabbit, until when we catch that rabbit, put it in the basket, then start pursuing another rabbit. We are in the world where there are so many ideas bombarded to us. Today you will meet a friend, they will tell you about this good idea. Tomorrow at church, you will hear the preacher talk about this idea. We are in a conference, we get another idea. And at work, we get another idea. At the end of the day, we have thousands of ideas which we are pursuing. These ideas are good, but we need to know that we pursue one idea, one goal at a time. Pay attention to one goal. Now, for high productivity, when I was studying about people who have very high productivity, what is their mode of thinking? And then I learned that there are two modes of thinking when it comes to productivity and the power of focus. There is what they call the monkey mode of thinking, which is on and off, on and off, and there is a lion mode of thinking for high productivity, which is ambush-based thinking. Now let's talk a little bit about the monkey mode of thinking. Monkey mode of thinking is when you're pursuing your goal and you realize that you are meeting challenges, which are either mental challenges or obstacles, or you're meeting things that you did not really expect. You thought that the sailing is going to be smooth, but now you're hitting a roadblock. Many people, they tell themselves, you know what, this is very hard, let me rest. And how do they rest? They switch their mind from pursuing the goal or doing what they're doing. They switch their minds doing something else. For me, it's probably I'm working on my computer, or I'm working on my book, or I'm working on my project. Then I say, you know what? Let me relax. I go on social media. I go on WhatsApp. I start, playing around, sending messages here and there. I go to Facebook, and then I go to LinkedIn, and then I watch video here and there. And then, I call a friend and we talk. That's, my subconscious mind tells me, that's a way to relax in order to collect new energy and then pursue my goal or pursue my project. While no, many super achievers and people who teach productivity say that is a wrong way of approaching our projects. We need to pursue our projects like a lion. A lion is an animal, when you look at the way they hunt, it's very interesting. They know that they cannot run for a very, very long time, like cheetahs. Lions are very, very strong, fast for a very short period of time. So what do? they are very, very patient. They go into a strategic position, and then they lay there waiting to ambush on their prey. And once they have spotted their prey, they will ambush them. And they are razor focused on their prey. They will ambush the prey, chase that prey, even if that prey mixes itself with other animals. The lion is very keen to just follow the animal that it has targeted. It never say, oh, there are so many zebras here, so many giraffes here, let me just jump on this one or jump on this gazelle. No, they will just pursue the one that they have spotted, even if it mixes itself with other animals. The eyes of a lion is razor focused on its goal until when it catches it. It's never distracted. And us, in order to be productive this year, I want to ask you, try not to be distracted. Put off your cell phone. Put off the time you're spending on social media and switching back to your project. You're putting a lot of junk in your head, and you are disturbing what they call a state of flow. It is difficult to reach that state of flow. I'll talk about it in the next subject, the next point, which is how do we maintain our momentum. You need to know, once you have a flow, don't distract it. There are so many distractions in today's time and age. There are things which are good, but you haven't decided to follow them. I don't say social media is bad. I don't say TV is bad. I say set time. When you are focusing, focus. The monkey mode of thinking, low productivity, is we are reverberating between very, very focused mode, and then we are going into multitasking, things that are of no use, and they are lowering our productivity, and they are taking that creative brain out of what we have really planned to do. That, for me, affects me a lot. And I've learned one thing: when I am focused on doing what I'm doing, I tune myself off everything. I don't watch TV. I don't watch social media. You won't find me in social media. You will hardly find me on the telephone. You will hardly see me. Why? Because I've set my goal. I don't want to be distracted. I want to finish this. But there are moments I will set aside. I will say, okay, once I have worked, let's say for 16 hours, then I can block 1 hour to socialize, 1 hour to be with the family, 1 hour to do what I need to do, as a valuable member of the community or of a family. Number 4, let me cruise quickly. I know time is not on our side. Momentum. Now, momentum is another way of saying, how do we maintain our consistency? How do we persist and not giving up? Now, to attain a momentum, you don't just attain the momentum, the first day you've set your goal and the first day you have your momentum. No. Momentum has to be generated. And how do we generate momentum? There are 4 steps to generate momentum and keeping it. The first step is called inertia or inertia. Inertia is the time where so many people fail. This is the time people have big goals and they remain goals and they are never even started. Okay? This is a time when we dream. This is the time when we are on pen and paper. We are just visualizing. We are just, on the drawing board. We are telling ourselves and we are telling others. Well, somebody said, don't tell me, show me. Okay? There are people who are just dreamers. I think you are aware of people who just speak and talk so big. They never put their finger into doing what they're talking. What are you doing? First steps to make what you're talking a reality, or what you're dreaming a reality. Number one, it is good to be on a drawing board, but inertia has to be broken. You need a lot of energy to get started. That first step is the most important step in all the journey to achieve your goal. If you do not start that first step, you will never achieve that goal. It will remain a dream. The difference between a dream and a goal is the dream, people are still sleeping. People are still on their beds dreaming. But a goal and a mission, people have already now started their first step. They have collected the energy. They have resolved. They have already denied themselves. Now they are making that first step. Even in our faith, that first step of saying, today I am making a step, I'm going to follow Christ. That step, we call it salvation. That step, we call it making a decision to follow Christ, becomes the foundation of our faith. Now, it doesn't end there only. In everything, we have to make that first step. Very important step. Like we are saved in everything that we want to do. We make a decision, and it is good to journal it. Write it down. Say, today is the 2nd or the 4th or the 6th or the 8th of February. I am deciding, I am starting today to do this, and tackle what you have been planning to tackle. That's the first step. The second step we've said is make that baby step. Baby steps count. They say the journey of 1,000 miles start with that first step. That is a key step. Number 3, maintain the flow. Once you put one foot in front of the other, continue and continue, even when it gets hard, even when it doesn't feel like doing it, even when it doesn't feel like waking up in the morning and pursuing your goal, pursuing what you told yourself you're going to do. Try. Just go. Show up. That's what I do sometimes. I have projects and I am pursuing this project. Let's say I'm writing a book or I'm building an online course, and there's a time, it's so hard, I don't find a way, and things get so complicated. I feel like sleeping, not waking up. What I have trained myself is I will show up in my office in the morning, the time that I'm supposed to be in front of my computer, even if I don't feel like doing it, even if I'm hitting a roadblock, even if I'm hitting the bottom rock, I will just sit on my desk. I will be in front of my computer. The rest is history. Many times you get new ideas, you get new flow when you are present. Don't be absent on your post. If you're absent on your post, the tendency is you will not only change the direction, but you will also change the destination. Be disciplined enough to put one foot in in front of the other. Sometimes it doesn't feel, good. It doesn't feel exciting. It is not exciting at all. We don't have the energy. We don't have the steam. We don't have that inner thrust and ambition to do that goal anymore. We are bored to death with our own goals. Don't give up. Just wake up in the morning, show up, be consistent, maintain the flow, maintain the momentum. It is your responsibility. They say it is your responsibility to keep the momentum. And once you have attained the momentum, remember, it is so easy to generate that momentum. So once you have attained that momentum, don't stop until when you finish your goal. And step number 4 is finishing strong. And I know my wife Dorothy is so big on finishing strong. Keep your eyes on the finish line. Every time you put one step in front of the other, put your focus on your finish line. Say, I'm not gonna stop this until when I finish. Do it whether you feel it or you don't feel it, and start, enjoying that joy of finishing it before you even finish it. Start celebrating it before you even finish it, and start visualizing it. Start thanking God, that is what it's going to happen. Throw your heart in front of where you're going before your body and your feelings and your emotions get there. Let your heart go ahead of you. If you interview the marathon runners, they say, our mind and our eyes are on the finish line. I have already finished. I've already crossed the line, the tape, before I even reach there. My heart is already there. So my body just follows my heart. Though my body hurts, everything is aching, but these marathon runners tell us that they always put their heart across the finish line. We can learn from them. And the last thing, which I believe is very important, number 5, is your support system. A support system is what do you build around yourself to help you when you are running out of energy. And these are the people that you put for you. You can have mentors, you can have family members, you can have friends, you can have co-workers, you can have your supervisor. It doesn't really matter. But there has to be somebody there that holds you accountable for the goal that you said that you're going to achieve. For me, it's my spouse. Normally, I tell my wife, this is what I want to achieve this year, or this is what I'm resolved to do this year. And I make her to hold me accountable, or to encourage me, or to support me. Can be your spouse. I read somewhere somebody said that spouses are not the right people, because they're too close to your heart. I don't think so. For most of the goals that I've personally achieved, I'll give all the credits to my spouse, to Dorothy, my wife, because she has been my support system. Learn to create a support system around you. The Bible and the ancient scriptures say in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9 to 10, and you can skip to verse 12. It talks about 2 are better than 1. It is easy to conquer somebody who is alone, but it is very difficult to conquer somebody who is in, excuse me, somebody who is in the team. Learn to create a support system around yourself. Make your goal public. Not telling everybody you meet, but there are key people who really need to know about your goal. Okay? Tell them, this is what I want to achieve. Please help me achieve this goal. Encourage me when you feel that, I'm losing the destination. But there is one caveat on that. There are people I know, and I don't want you to be like these people. There are people that I know, they will tell you of the goal that they want to achieve. And once you get back to them and encourage them, they get angry. They're like, you're bugging me. They're like, you're always pushing me. You're always, bugging me on this. And they get so angry. They get pissed off. But they are the ones who told you to, help them and encourage them. And as for me, if you tell me your goal, you tell me what you want to achieve, if you receive my call, I will surely ask you, how is it going? How far are you going? Have you considered this? This is what you say you're going to do. Do you need any help? Be a person that can receive encouragement. There are people who know how to encourage others, but they don't know how to receive encouragement. There are people who feel that to receive encouragement is weakness. It's not weakness to receive encouragement. Learn to receive encouragement. Learn to be a good encourager. I don't know if that's an English word. Encouragee. There is those who encourage and there are those who get encouraged. Now, some of us become very, very bad in terms of being encouraged, in terms of being supported. We know how to support others. We don't know how to receive support. We are so self-centered. We are so egotistic. And we are self-absorbed. We think that we are everything on ourselves. We are so independent. No. Build a support system, and when the people you have put in place to support you, help you, receive their help. Again, 5 things. Let's review them very quickly. Number 1, we say, set your goal. Be very clear upon your goal. Number 2, resolve that you're going to do your goal. Number 3, focus like a laser beam to the goal. Number 3, maintain the momentum. And number 5, and lastly, build the support system. Build people who are going to hold you accountable to the goal that you want to achieve. I believe this year is going to be a year that you are going to achieve great goals with the help of God, with the help of others, and with yourself. You're going to do, as a team, you're going to accomplish great things. It is my prayer that you will look back and say, how did this happen? Thank God, because I couldn't have performed all this if it were not of God. Thank you very much, and God bless you.